Welcome to this week's episode of Zero to a Million, brought to you by Unstack. I'm your host, Zach Rego, and today I'm joined by Jackie Hermes, founder and CEO of Accelity, an agency that helps B2B SaaS companies scale with customer acquisition and lead generation strategies. Today, we're going to be talking about LinkedIn, obviously focused on personal branding, which I think is a low-cost way for startups, scale-ups, and B2B SaaS companies to really get their brand out there. Jackie's an expert in that. We'll also dig into a little bit of paid acquisition on LinkedIn. Jackie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat. I know this has been in the works for a while. When I got started, I didn't even really know why or what I was doing, right? I had a goal in mind that I wanted to help my business grow. I saw that this could be an avenue to gain awareness, where we'd been running our own inbound marketing for years and it was working, but man, it's a slow process. It's not like a quick solve to, we're a bootstrapped company and we need to get moving and get leads in the door now. Building your own organic presence isn't going to do that within 3, 6, 12, even months for you. So, I was lucky that I started early and not a lot of people were building a brand on LinkedIn, because some of my very first videos went pretty far. So that one was more of a Cinderella story. It was a lot easier than starting a business, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I think there's like this balancing act now of there's so much content and so many content creators on LinkedIn that you even see people coming up with strategies of like, I post on the weekend because less people are posting. And while there's less traffic, I can get more market shares.
All of my posts get a good amount of interaction. I am not expecting any of them to go viral, and I'm not writing or posting for virality, right? I'm posting more for my audience and the things that they like to hear from me and the stories that I have to tell them about, being side by side with them and growing a business, or trying to help myself as a professional by changing my mindset, parenting with kids at home, surviving this pandemic, which we're all trying to do. So it's more just telling stories and trying to really connect with people than, in my mind, really trying to go super viral. A lot of people that have posts that go super viral, they don't have much more of an audience than me or anyone else. It's just a lot more people are seeing their posts. So I just I guess my strategy is much more on feeling, which sounds weird and is probably not what you were expecting to say, but it's more on, what do I want to talk about this next week? What books have I been reading? What podcasts have I been listening to? What's resonating with me? What's helping me either change, grow myself? What's helping grow our business, et cetera?
So you mentioned getting your team involved in doing, and I think some of them have been doing it for a while, or you've kind of brought them into some of your videos and taken their kind of subject matter expertise and allow them to expose that. Tell me a bit about this strategy of starting to get the team really heavily involved in this, and where you think it's going to take the business, as they scale their personal brands.
I have encouraged them to do it for a long time. So it was probably 5 or 6 quarters ago, maybe a year and a half ago, that we ran a challenge. It wasn't really a challenge. It was more like a goal that everyone had to post 6 times on LinkedIn in a quarter. Some of the team members weren't super happy about it. They didn't really want to get behind video, but we didn't have a specific format or topic or anything that you had to say. It was just like, hey, get out there and see how it works for you. This one, we made it an opt-in challenge to get on and honestly post and track your % increase or decrease in engagement over time. And we have like a leaderboard running in Google Sheets where everyone can kind of see how they're stacking up against each other. So some of my team members that have been here for longer were kind of part of that first iteration, and they've kept it up since then. Mikey wasn't here when we did that, but he just was like, ooh, video content on LinkedIn. And he kind of latched onto it when he started, which has been great. But this time we put some cash on the line. So I think that helped, that people can win money by, building their own brand on LinkedIn. It kind of seems like a no-brainer to me. A big mistake companies make is they try to get their team involved, but they're like giving them, here are the posts we want you to post, and here is the approved company image that you must put up with it. And it's like, it's a snooze. Honestly, no one wants to do it. And if I were the employee, I'd be like, there's no chance I'm doing this. I don't even have any interest in just like spitting out whatever the company approved on my personal social media. The cool thing about doing it this way is that we're allowing them to showcase themselves, like their hobbies, what they're good at, what they do day to day at work. And then our potential prospects or our clients get to know them better. So we will have prospects that come to Mikey that are like, oh yeah, I know this person from LinkedIn, or I know this person, or I feel like I already know your whole team. And what crazy advantage if we're going up, say, up against 5 other agencies, but the prospect already feels that they know half of our team, that is a leg up immediately. So those are the benefits that we typically see. And I think it's really good for the team too, to get to kind of flex that creative muscle and, build something for themselves as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, one of my big regrets in my career is not starting on this earlier. Like I worked for a recruiter in, my first job out of college, and I spent a ton of time on LinkedIn, but it was literally just connecting and messaging and finding email addresses and, the kind of basic initial use case. And I really wish that I would have started on this. And then, as I transitioned to working in marketing, like that was a huge miss. And I think you've got it, like you're way ahead of the game in how you started. And I think getting your team involved is huge.
I think you have to accept too that there might be some things that you don't love, but if you are putting it out there and saying, I'm not going to be in charge of your message, it's completely up to you, which I think is the only way to do something like this. It's just a risk that you have to accept. And I mean, God, everyone in your audience has accepted how many risks? Like, what's one more?
Yeah, no, I think that's so spot on because I think people are so hesitant. And, you think about larger marketing organizations when they send the white paper with the featured image and it's like, hey, we're promoting this webinar or this guide, like share our post, and you share the company post and it's just the box around it. It's got a new name above it. But that does nothing. It gets one like, maybe one comment from some other employee, probably in marketing. Like that just doesn't work. It's so much more impactful if sales rep has built a brand around, he or she's expertise, and then gone and promoted a guide that's totally in line with their brand. Like that's when it starts to win. And I think some folks have adopted that and a lot have not. So I encourage everyone listening to do that and, take some of Jackie's ideas and encourage your team to go out and do it because it's a huge amount of benefit. Jackie, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a blast.
Yes, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.